What is good, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a new video. If you guys are veterans to the channel, welcome. If you guys are new to the channel, remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Before we continue on, just so you guys look around, this is the roost. This is a working project. This is where all the Yu-Gi-Oh videos are happening, so just bear with me. You guys will probably be with it through the amount of time that it takes to get it all set up. But to continue on through the video, I have an important announcement to make. On Wednesday at noon, I am going to be doing a live stream of test hands. And that's going to start out our road to nationals. Since you guys know I got my invite, I wasn't able to make it last year, but I'm going to go this year. Me and the boys are going to drive down to Orlando, which is I think a 28-hour drive for us. So that's actually quite a long drive. But this will start our road to nationals, where throughout these entire months leading up to nationals, I'm going to do a bunch of live streams, a bunch of stuff to hopefully build and show you guys what I'm doing to prep for nationals. However, in this new, this new series, the first episode, which will be this Wednesday on the live stream, like I said, I have an important raffle that I'm going to do. In the sense of that I have a mat here. If you guys remember, I uploaded a picture of a Crusadia cloth playmat that we were trying to make. And I have the first ever, the only actual copy of that mat made over here next to me. And we're actually going back and putting it back to the drawing board so that we can make it a 2-player playmat. And but this is going to be your guys' chance to win this mat in the sense of a giveaway through donations, if you guys want to. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the mat real quick. Maybe you guys have seen it on the channel, but this is it right here. You guys can see this is the first. It's a 1-player playmat. It's made by Metamats, which is a very good cloth playmat brand. There's also, I'll put a picture of their most famous playmat, I believe, which is the Way of the Warrior with all the cherry blossoms. I had that mat at 1.2. I actually sold it at my first regional I got my invite with Crusadias because someone, judge, admired it so much. But back to this mat right here. You guys will be able to donate through the live stream, and for every dollar donated, your name will be put into a raffle. And then at the end of the live stream that Friday, we will be going in, and then we will be taking a name. So you can donate however much you want, just $1 at the bare minimum. Every dollar gets your name put in, and then on Friday we do a random generator, and then we'll check the name. Also, like, even if you don't make it to the live stream because you have work, life, your priorities get ahead of you, because you know this is just for fun. This card game is not like supposed to be your life. Unless it's your job, then it's your job. They will be built. I will have the link in the community tab to where you can go and donate. Friday at 6 a.m. we'll cut it off, and then we'll just roll there. And then after you have been chosen, if you win the mat, you will be able to. I will upload the winner. It'll be your responsibility to get a hold of me. If we do not hear from you by Monday, we will do it again on Monday, and then the second place person will get the mat. This is the first mat of its design. The only thing, we're moving on to a 2-player playmat. That's going to be called, I think we're choosing the name of World Legacy Heroes. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's going to be a little bit pretty. It's going to be pretty cool. But this is the playmat. So remember, guys, noon Wednesday, hop on over, join the live stream. Even if you don't want to donate or don't have any time to donate or have any extra money to donate to attempt to win this, just come on over and hang out. So I enjoy the company, but yep, that's it for the playmat. And now we're going to jump into the video. The reason why you guys are here is the top 5 decks that have cult followings. So before we continue on, I'm going to explain to you guys what a cult is, and what the definition of cult is, and then we're not going to touch any base on it because cult has like a political, religious issue and stuff like that that we're not going to get into because we're a Yu-Gi-Oh channel. But a cult is a devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. So in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, a cult is a deck that you play religiously through any format, and we're going to go through the top 5 decks, I believe. So coming in here at number 5, which is, I think, and take note that my list is not like, it's my list. It's not a for sure. It's not 100% guaranteed. But these are the top 5 decks that I think have a cult following, and 5 being like the least to number 1 being the most. So number 5, I think, is Blue Eyes White Dragon. I should have a picture up here. And a Blue Eyes White Dragon, guys, I remember this deck has had a following since its inception. And actually, I cannot even remember this. I think it was Shining Victories that it debuted in. But ever since then, we've had these devoted Blue Eyes players come in and play the deck, and somehow, particularly sometimes too good, sometimes too bad, because you are playing a brick house with the deck. However, there's a guy called Alan, which is called Black Seto. I hope I can say black, but oh boy. Anyway, Black Seto, he has a YouTube channel. He is devoted, he has spent so much time to this deck, and he is has a following with him. Like, I remember he released his channel, guys, and immediately after that, he had a following of subscribers, like 8,000 subscribers within the course of a night. So that's how popular Blue Eyes is and how popular he had made the deck. But he, I sat next to this guy in a regional, and all the way up to like round 5, when I went undefeated all the way up to round 5, he was just slaughtering people. So like, I get it, the deck's good. It's also an anime favorite from Kaiba, of course. Like, Kaiba, he has his Blue Eyes. So yeah, at number 5, that was Blue Eyes. Number four with the, this is actually kind of, with the spike of the recent structure deck, as you guys are probably thinking, is Shadal's. So Shadal's, prior to the structure deck, they did have almost a cult following, as in a lot of people played the deck. That's why Construct was banned, because so many people, the deck was so good and had such good representation that so many people played it. During Duelist Alliance format, which is probably one of my all-time favorite formats. There was so many good decks in that time. Shadal's was a very popular pick because Construct is Bay. And then once Construct got banned, along with the free Stratos, came free Construct. And coincidentally, both are now free there. So there you go. But Shadal's are a very interesting deck. They have a lot of followings, hence why you've seen their resurgence so prominently with the introduction of the structure deck. However, prior to the structure deck, Lone Gentleman in the card market TCG series over in Europe came in and ended up winning the event without the structure deck. So, and you also have a lot of veteran players that play the deck back in 2015 Duelist Alliance format, which, like I said, guys, maybe one day we'll do a talk about Duelist Alliance format, because Duelist Alliance format is one of my favorite formats. I actually got in at the very end of it when it was pretty much being dominated by Shadal and Necross. And however, your boy here is playing Teller Knights, so it was the first competitive deck I had. Strapped on my helmet and just went. And but anyway, outside of that, it was really a diverse format. But that's where Shadal pretty much got a lot of its following, was because Shadal was just so good. The cards were beautiful. The lore also plays a good key in these decks, I'm saying. Not really Blue Eyes, but Shadal, because not everybody out there, some people like pick up decks depending on lore, or some people love decks because lore behind it. And Shadal's is one of those that has a substantial amount of lore behind it. Moving on to number 3 in the list, we have True Draco. True Draco. All hail Masterpiece. Now this is one of the decks that I fell victims to. That regional I was telling you about where I watched the Blue Eyes player go undefeated, Alan. I was actually piloting True Draco back when Masterpiece was at 2. And this is a deck that has a following because essentially it puts on the helmet, it has some intricate plays, not going to take away from them, and it just charges straight forward. And previous to Masterpiece being banned, you had a almost unmovable boss monster that won you the game. But the reason it has a cult following is because the deck lost Masterpiece but gained back Ignis and Dynamite. And then in this new list now, they took away Diagram and Card Demise. But yet the deck is still being pioneered and played. So it has a devoted following, which of course, all hail Masterpiece, is suitable. The deck is really strong. The deck also has lore behind it. Of course, like one of the reasons I went to the deck, I know I said we weren't going to get into religious details, is because the entire True Draco archetype is based off of Jesus and the Apostles and all that kind of crazy stuff. So that's what drove me into it, was the crazy lore behind it. Maybe lore video coming in if you guys want to. But the it's a strong deck, and it has such an amazing following because it's simple to play, it's easy to win with, and more importantly, like, who doesn't like, I flip Floodgate and I win? Like, you know, sometimes, like, piloting that deck, it was so nice to win by flipping Monarchs Erupt and being like, hey, you suck. And now, playing against the deck, moving away from strap my helmet on and playing against it, they flip over, there can be only one, and I want to headbutt the table. And sometimes it's like, you know, there's really nothing stopping me from reaching across this table and smacking the out of you. But anyway, True Draco is number 3 on this list. It has had just a huge following ever since its inception. So now we're just gonna move on to number 2 on the list. So number 2, guys, is Q Hero by Chad Kroger from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is Heroes. Heroes is an OG deck, and it has just been around for forever, and it's had a following crazily on up till Stratos was released, Stratos was taken away, and then they freed Stratos to Stratos come into 1 to 2 to 3. And this deck just has a huge following, similar to Blue Eyes because of the anime of Jaden playing the deck. And the deck just has cool artwork. If you're into like popular comic book heroes thrive on, take a lot of their design from popular heroes. And then on the release of the most prominent, I wouldn't say prominent, but a new popular anime, My Hero Academia, if you are an anime nerd that likes to watch that, Heroes is pretty much the deck for you. The deck is consistent with what it does. However, despite all that, we do see a lack of it in popular play, but that does not stop you hero players. No, it doesn't, because I know you guys have your ultimate Stratoses, your ultimate Dark Laws, and what else do you have? The secret plasmas and all that kind of crazy money. Ultimate Hero Lives. You have all these high expensive cards, and you want to play them. And the deck is good. It's very promising, it does what it does, but it is in the cult category, as in you always have that person that will play heroes, and you always have that following of heroes. If you look at any regional list or any YCS or high level event, Heroes is in there. They might not be doing well, but they're in there, and they're in there not just one hero. No, they'll never just be one hero. They travel in packs. They'll be like 2 or 3 heroes. Interesting enough, I get in the last regional I went to in Denver, Colorado, where I got my invite. I played against a hero player, and the deck just has I don't know, like there are certain choke points in the deck, but if they have an extender, it's so hard to stop the deck. Like the heroes keep pushing forward. They go plus ultra, and it's hard to beat them. But that's number 2 on the list. Now we're going to jump to my honorable mentions before we go to number 1. Honorable mention is Cyber Dragon. Again, OG players. Ever since the deck received support out of Cybernetic Horizon, you have seen it sneak its way. Again, similar to Heroes, it has snuck its way into the top cut of multiple things. They come in numbers, they come in packs, but then just the person who just has the skill and the luck make it up there, and they just, you know, Infinity is a strong card, along with the ability to go second and break through any board. Not to mention you're playing as Zane Truesdale, I believe is his name, from GX. It's such a nostalgia feeling. There's a lot of OG players who play Cyber Dragons. There are a lot of good players who play Cyber Dragons, such as Asim, who has pioneered a lot in the deck. But the deck has a cult following because it's a good go second deck. Like, if you're sitting down in a format and you're like, well, Cybernetic Horizon also introduced probably the second best going second deck, which is Crusadia. Before that, you're just like, what's a good go second deck that we could play this format? Play Cyber Dragons. And you can also argue Heroes is a going second deck as well. However, I'm not gonna lie. Here, when I think of Heroes, I don't think of one punching me going second. I think of locking me out with Plasma or Dark Lawing me. And yeah, that's what I think of Heroes. Like I said, my opinion. But Cyber Dragon, like that's just a deck every format. You're like, I want to play a go second deck. Well, why don't you play Cyber Dragons? There you go. Deck. It might lose a little bit of power coming the new Master Rule, because now that monsters aren't needed to be in the extra monster zone, their Mega Fleet Dragon, Magna Fleet, I don't remember. The Bane of Equamax. Mega Fleet won't be as prominent. With that being said, the deck is also getting tons of support with that Predaplant Link, just overload fusion right from the deck, because it's not searchable, but now you can use it. It's just really good, and like I said, Infinity and Nova and that quick play Cybernetic Fusion is just powerful cards. Actually, one of my good friends, who's one of the best players we have at our locals, he pilots the deck, and he is just a formidable foe with it. So I wish I could have fit it here on the list, but all these other decks kind of outranked it in the ability of people to stick with it. But going on to the second honorable mention, we have Crusadia. Crusadia, believe it or not, is one of the newest decks on this list. And the reason it's like that, and the reason I'm saying it, is not because I play the deck and it's I'm the patron of Crusadia. No, I'm not saying it because it's because if you guys have been a part of the Crusadia Facebook page, you would have noticed the increase of players flocking to the deck. It has gone. I joined the Facebook page when it was like at 1,000 subscribers before the deck was even out. Now I think the Facebook page is pushing 6,000 subscribers, or 6,000 followers, excuse me. And it just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. The deck has beautiful artwork that appeals to a lot of the fantasy people. The deck has the deck has a multiple play styles, and you can play a hard going second variant and just be on like the same board as Cyber Dragons, to playing a more control, go first, like in the middle guard dragon variant. Like, and the deck just, you know, like I said, it's like nothing pleases a person more than just making Equamax and whacking for 8,000. It's simple to pilot if you don't decide to go into the guard dragon and get into like the intricate combos that you can do. It's affordable, And like I said, guys, the artwork on all the cards are just outstandingly beautiful. And then it also has the lore behind it. The World Legacy lore has also introduced a lot of interesting decks that I wish I could have put on here. World Chalice, Mech Knights. Those are just some of the other popular decks. But maybe World Chalice could have fit on this list because when it was first introduced, it had a huge following. But the not so much Mech Knights. But Crusadia has just had a huge growth. I mean, it has gone from, it's just blown up. So, and the reason for that is because Equal Max ruled. He wills it. It shall be done. Anyway, for the last and final honorable mention of the deck, we have Mermail. An OG deck too, similar to Cyber Dragon and Heroes. It was probably one of the first pioneer, because I think Cyber Dragons didn't get its deck to the structure deck, but Mermails have been around for a while, Mermail Lantians. The deck was popular back in Dragon Lore format and back, I think, 2012. Don't quote me. The deck was consistent OTKing, and then as they continued to get more support and more support, the deck kind of fell in the same category as Crusadia, to where you could play a hardcore going second, or you could play a in the middle, not so dice roll dependent, you know. But what really brought the deck back, so the deck, we might argue that the deck was kind of losing popularity, and also because the deck max rarity is beautiful. That's another reason why it has such a huge following, and how somebody's going to be like, I'm going to play Mermail. Why are you going to play Mermail? Oh, you know, I spent $1,000 on this deck to have ulti Dragoons and ulti Marksmen and Secret Megalos and Ultimate Teuses, and the list just goes on. And then I also have like the Duelist Pack Diva that's $100, and it just goes on. So it's beautiful max rarity. It's an OG, and then the Prince that was promised came out in Breakers of Shadow. If you guys remember that old Netibus reinvigorated the deck. Like, if you guys don't remember, during ABC Metalfoes format, I remember this because I got my invite with Dark Lords at the time. Mermail Lantians were prominent because of Toad. So you have all these cards that come out for the deck. So the cult was built and the cult was following. And you still, even at our locals today, we have at least 2 Mermail players, because the deck is really good at what it does. It's a fun deck to pilot. To me, it's a high ceiling deck. So you're not just going to jump in, strap on your helmet, and summon Masterpiece and win. You're going to have to play through your combos. You're going to have to add the right cards, search the right cards. You're going to have to make your combo strings. And the deck also got a rebump because Diva came back. So now the deck's ceiling is even higher than what it was. And that is why this deck has such a prominent cult following, is because the Prince that was promised did so much for the deck and gave it a resurgence that is stuck. And like I said, you're always going to have a Mermail player. Similar to, you're always going to have a Hero player. You're always going to have a Mermail player. Maybe not a higher end event, but at least locals, you'll have at least one of them that's trying. Now that's it for the honorable mentions. Now to the number 1. I spent so much time going through honorable mentions because all 3 of those decks I very well enjoy. The number 1 deck is the biggest cult following you will ever see in Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is, all the other things on the list were subject to change. You could plop anything, but this number 1 spot, this is solid. And that is Burning Abyss. Burning Abyss has such a huge following, guys. Ever since its inception in Duels Alliance format, similar to Shaddoll, the deck, Dante Mill 3, is it cost? It's cost. Mills 3. Since the deck has had its inception, it's had such a huge following. It has been prominent throughout the competitive aspect. It has gone through multiple regionals. It has gotten won multiple regionals. It even got a boost from the OCG in the form of Beatrice, which brought it back to PK Fire, if you guys remember PK Fire, to the point of where it is now that we have Block Dragon BA. So the deck has just stuck around. Similar to Draco, it has stuck around, it's improvised, it's adapt, and it's overcome. And that's where we are right now. BA is just prominent, and is more prominent in Europe than it is in the US, because no matter what event, every YCS in Europe, there's going to be a top cut BA player. You can't beat it. I mean, if there is not a BA player there, then was it really a European YCS if there's no BA player? I mean, but anyway, guys, that's it for number 1. Again, I'll put up a community tab to remind you guys, check in Wednesday for that 12 o'clock live stream for your chance to win in a raffle, to win this one, like, limited time, like, once. It's only printing, Matt, and we'll see you guys then. This has been Charles from Team COG. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this. I might try to do more discussions like this, but just let me know. This has been Charles from Team COG, signing out. Peace.